Bonjour, hi! Welcome to my channel! Grab yourself a little coffee, a little water, a little snack if you want, because today we're getting to know one another. If you're new here, hi! My name is Shania. Yes, it is spelled the same way as the iconic Shania Twain. I just prefer saying it that way simply because I'm from Montreal, Canada, which means that French is actually my first language, which also explains the slight little accent that I might have when I do speak English. I create content here on a weekly basis. I have a series that is called Another Coffee Talk, where every Friday I sit down with a cup of coffee, I sip on it while I talk about different topics that have been on my mind. It's also available in the audio format as a podcast if you're more into that. It's available on all the streaming platforms, and I do it, as I said, on the weekly. But rest assured, I also create other type of content on this channel. I like vlogs, I like lifestyle, beauty, skincare, hair, thrifting, fashion, resets, food. I'm honestly, I would consider myself a jack of all trades. I'm a master of none, but I don't know how the saying goes. I know a lot of stuff about a lot of topics, and I'm interested in a lot of topics. I have a lot of interests, and I'm just a very curious person. So it explains the variety of content I might create on here. And often this curiosity gets transformed into creativity, and so here, this is the perfect place for me to get creative, do what I love, and just show it to whomever wants to see it. But I'm also active on other social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. I have a French account on TikTok. I have an English account on TikTok. I am honestly everywhere. I'm sick of myself sometimes. But this is what happens. So cheers to that. As it is written on my very channel, this is just simply glimpses of the life of a 20-something-year-old, that 20-something-year-old being me. And I'm just out here, my whole purpose here is to be frank, to be authentic, to be transparent with you, and just to share a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of goofiness, a little bit of introspection, a little bit of randomness, truly. And if that can resonate with people, then my job is done here. For the little backstory, I feel like I've always been on social media. I think I created my Instagram account when I was 13. Yes, it was hectic. And if you're curious to see, the content that I posted back then is still on my Instagram, just for, just for the hell of it. Just because it's kind of funny to compare what we used to post back then and what we do post now. So I would consider myself to be I would consider myself a social media queen. Not in the way that I master social media, but in the way that I've been on social media for so long. It is now part of my personality, if you will. I love creating content. I love sharing whatever happens in my life. I love just being out there and speaking my mind and just really connecting. I feel like the whole essence of social media and what it brings me is just some humanness. As contradictory as it may sound, I know that social media can be portrayed as like fake and very curated, but I think what I love the most about it is the authenticity, is the realness. It's just connecting through a screen with somebody who is across the world, who lives in another city, another province, another country, across the world. This to me is, I think, the most rewarding thing, and just connecting in general, exchanging, is what I like to do here. I truly wish I could say I have a niche in something, but the reality is I'm just so intrigued by everything. I like trying out new things, and I'm the kind of person who has phases. And so for me to be able to just pick and choose one thing and one thing only and stick to it forever and to create content around it just doesn't make sense to me. And so the beauty of what I do here is that you get to also see how I evolve and how my phases change and how my interests change and how my thoughts change as well. So it's like a constant evolution. So I mean, you're here for a good time. You're just enjoy the ride, because I sure am. I recently, it was a year ago, so not so recent, went through a quarter-life crisis. I just turned 25, a year ago again, not very recent, but I went through that. I went through a quarter-life crisis. I questioned a bunch of things about myself, but we're all in this together. I was able to go through it, to grow from it, and yeah, it reflected on a lot of things that I did on here and in my life, which affected also the way that I saw life, the way that I was thinking, and the way that I was processing everything. And so if you too are going through not necessarily a quarter life crisis, but just like a crisis in general, just know that I got you, and we're in this together, and we can grow together, and we can become better human beings together by sharing and caring for one another. Circling back to the weekly series, I mentioned Another Coffee Talk, which is also a podcast. I recently just started this new sub-series, which is called the Big Sister Sessions. And essentially it's me taking my big sister role at heart and becoming your internet big sister for a little while, and giving you advice and wisdom and insights on any given situation that you might want to share with me. So if you would like me to give you a little bit of advice on your dating life, on your personal life, on your professional life, just let me know in the comments. And if you'd rather stay anonymous, which I get, you could always write to me on Instagram. It's always a pleasure for me to exchange with you, whether it's related to the Big Sister Sessions or not, just exchanging in general. Just know that I would be happy to connect with you. And it's kind of funny because sitting down today, I knew I wanted to film this introduction, or like this reintroduction video, as a channel introduction, but also for the people that are subscribed already but that don't really know me that much. And I thought I was prepared, but now that I'm filming this, I'm realizing that I'm not so prepared. And this is honestly me in a nutshell. I like see, that too. Again, English is not my first language, so I do mispronounce a lot of words, and sometimes I go with it, sometimes I don't, sometimes I question myself a lot. But I guess it's part of the charm, it's part of who I am, it's part of my personality, and it's what makes me me. So if you like coffee, if you like skincare, if you like vlogs, if you like makeup, if you like hair, if you like fashion, if you like goofiness, if you like realness, you know what to do. And on that note, I'm going to wish you bonne journée. You'll also see that this is my little signature catchphrase that I like to use at the end of every video. Subscribe.